The Braxton family just went DEFCON 1 because Tamar Braxton didn't just drop T. She unleashed a full-blown, career-shaking, legacy-shattering expose that nobody saw coming. In a moment so raw, so unfiltered, and so shockingly direct that fans are still replaying it, frame by frame, Tamar has officially exposed Toni Braxton's secret surgeries. And the fallout is already ripping through the industry like a hurricane with no brakes. Tamar didn't hint. She didn't imply. She didn't slide it in quietly like a subliminal. She came out swinging, naming procedures, timelines, and details so specific that fans are stunned into silence. And the most shocking part? Tamar claims Toni hid these surgeries not just from the public, but from the family. Within minutes of Tamar's confession going live, social media erupted into chaos. Fans are screaming betrayal. Critics are calling it a sister-to-sister takedown. And insiders are whispering that Tamar didn't do this out of pettiness. She did it because she's fed up with Toni pretending to be above everyone else while secretly battling insecurities Tamar says she's been covering for years. But the real bomb Tamar dropped wasn't the surgeries. It was the accusation behind them. Because according to Tamar, Toni wasn't just getting procedures for confidence. She was getting them because she was jealous. Jealous of Tamar's glow-up. Jealous of Tamar's body. Jealous of Tamar's comeback. Jealous of Tamar still being the one the cameras chase. And Tamar says she has the proof. Receipts. Photos. Messages. Conversations Toni never thought would see daylight. And once you hear exactly what Tamar revealed, you'll understand why the entire Braxton family is falling apart behind the scenes. The moment Tamar opened her mouth, the entire entertainment industry felt the ground shift. It wasn't a soft rumor. It wasn't a playful dig. It wasn't a subliminal wrapped in a joke. Tamar Braxton snapped with the force of a sister who's been holding receipts, resentment, screenshots, and surgical timelines in a vault for years. And tonight that vault cracked wide open. In a single breath, Tamar didn't just expose Toni's secret surgeries. She exposed years of masked insecurity, silent competition, and a jealousy so thick it's practically its own cast member in the Braxton family legacy. People always assumed Tamar was the dramatic one, the loud one, the messy one, the emotional one. But this time, she wasn't ranting. She wasn't flailing. She wasn't spiraling. She was surgical, calm, precise, intentional, which is exactly why the internet went into cardiac arrest. A calm Tamar is a dangerous Tamar, and when Tamar is dangerous, someone is about to cry. The leak began with an offhand comment during Tamar's live stream, or so viewers thought. She was talking about self-love, body confidence, and being authentic when she suddenly said, "Some people pretend to be natural when they've had more work done than the Beverly Hills Library." People laughed at first, but then Tamar raised an eyebrow in a way only a Braxton can and added, "And yes, I'm talking about who you think I'm talking about." The chat froze. Comments stalled. Fans started typing "no way" in all caps. And then Tamar said the name, Toni, just like that. Not coded, not blurred, not hinted. Not shielded by metaphor. She said her sister's name, and the internet's spine snapped in half. Within seconds, clips from the live stream hit every gossip page imaginable. But the screenshots didn't have the full context because Tamar didn't stop there. She leaned closer to the camera and said, "Don't play with me. I've been quiet. I've been loyal. I've been protecting that woman for years while she pretended to be the classy one. I covered her secrets. I covered her insecurities. I covered her surgeries." That word, surgeries, are echoed across every platform like a bomb. Then Tamar took a deep breath and said, "Let's talk about it," since she loves pretending. The entire internet collectively screamed, because nobody expected Tamar to go this far. Then she dropped the first revelation. That nose y'all think is natural, it ain't. And she didn't tell nobody. I found out because I picked her up from the damn clinic. Fans gasped so hard, the live stream glitched. Tamar wasn't done. The chin too, she added. And don't let her lie about that stomach. She ain't been in nobody's gym. She'd been under somebody's anesthesia. People couldn't believe what they were hearing. Tamar wasn't throwing shade. She was detonating a bomb, and before anyone could accuse her of bluffing or exaggerating, she held up her phone and said, "Y'all think I'm lying? Girl, I got dates." That's when everyone lost their minds. She didn't show the receipts, not yet, but the threat was enough. Fans clipped that moment instantly. TikTok detectives slowed it down, zoomed in, enhanced the glare on her phone screen, and swore they saw appointment dates in her gallery. But the worst part wasn't the exposure itself. It was what Tamar said next. She said Toni didn't get those surgeries because of health issues, confidence struggles, or reinvention. According to Tamar, Toni got them because she couldn't handle Tamar's glow-up, specifically during a period where Tamar was dominating reality TV, the charts, red carpets, and talk shows. Tamar dropped the accusation like it was nothing. She was jealous, period. Jealous of how I looked, jealous of how I was shining, jealous that the industry wanted me again. Fans went feral. The timeline turned into a war zone. Team Toni versus Team Tamar exploded before sunrise. Tamar stans dragged Toni for lying about her natural elegance, while Toni fans accused Tamar of being unhinged and projecting. But then the next leak hit, and it flipped the narrative completely. A former Braxton Family Values producer anonymously posted a DM saying, "Tamar isn't lying. We had to edit so much tension out of early seasons. Toni would make comments about Tamar's body behind scenes. She even compared herself to Tamar during press weeks." That leak triggered an avalanche. Another insider said, "Toni hated when Tamar got compliments. It drove her crazy." Another one added, "There was a photo shoot where Toni demanded to be placed center because she didn't want Tamar standing next to her. And yes, it was because of looks." Fans were stunned. And then another leak surfaced, a clipped audio file from years ago. Tamar and Toni are off camera arguing. Tamar says, "Stop trying to look like me." Toni responds, "Nobody wants to look like you." Producers tried to break it up, but the argument continued. Tamar said, "Then why you copying everything I do?" Toni snapped back, "I do it better." The internet exploded. People replayed the audio hundreds of times, dissecting every tone, every breath, every pause. But the real shocker came when someone close to Tamar dropped the message that made the entire scandal get 10 times deeper. Toni was insecure because Tamar found out about her surgeries by accident. That's why they fell out in 2021. Fans put two and two together, the secret fallout, Toni's sudden distance from social media, Tamar's cryptic tweets, the awkward holiday posts, the missing family events. All of it lined up like puzzle pieces falling into place. Then another insider leaked something even more brutal. Tamar has photos from the recovery room. The internet collapsed. A recovery room photo of Toni, taken secretly, hidden for years? Then a final leak from a Braxton cousin appeared. Toni begged Tamar not to release anything. Tamar kept quiet until Toni shaded her behind the scenes last month. So now the world realized something massive. Tamar didn't expose this randomly. She didn't expose this for clout. She didn't expose this for pettiness. She exposed it because she felt betrayed. Again. And the cliffhanger, a burner account posted the message that stopped the internet cold. Tamar hasn't dropped the real receipts yet. She's saving those for when Toni denies it. And Toni Braxton hasn't said a single word, but everyone knows the silence won't last because Tamar is holding proof that could shatter Toni's entire brand the moment she feels challenged. And that's when the real war begins. The internet had barely recovered from Tamar's first explosion before the next wave of chaos hit. And this time, it wasn't Tamar speaking. It was everybody else, the family, insiders, former producers, stylists, old friends, people who'd stayed quiet for years suddenly found their courage the moment Tamar cracked open the door. And once that door opened, the whole house started collapsing. Because while fans were still arguing about the surgeries themselves, someone dropped a bombshell nobody was prepared for. Tamar didn't expose Toni out of jealousy. She exposed Toni because Toni betrayed her first. That narrative shifted the entire internet in one heartbeat. A former Braxton Family Values crew member posted a tweet, quickly deleted but screenshotted by thousands, that read, "Toni crossed a line in December. Tamar warned her she'd go nuclear. Toni didn't listen." Fans lost it. December, what happened in December? What kind of line could Toni Braxton and the soft-spoken icon, the graceful legend, possibly cross to trigger this level of public demolition? Then came the first insider leak. A stylist who had worked with the sisters wrote, "Toni said something about Tamar's surgery history behind her back. She thought it wouldn't get back. It got back." That stylist didn't elaborate, but fans instantly assumed the worst. Did Toni mock Tamar's procedures? Did she call her fake? Did she undermine Tamar's confidence? Was Toni shading Tamar to producers or outsiders? Before anyone could confirm, another insider, someone allegedly from Tamar's own glam squad, dropped an even bigger bomb. Toni told a major outlet Tamar was insecure and needed more work done after her comeback. That line alone ignited a digital nuclear meltdown. Because if that was true, Toni wasn't just shading Tamar privately, she was preparing to embarrass her publicly. And Tamar took that personally. Suddenly, everything made sense. Tamar's tone, her calmness, her precision, her refusal to hold back. She wasn't ranting, she was retaliating. But then came the real earthquake. A Braxton cousin, and the same one known for accidentally spilling family tea, posted on Facebook, "Tamar kept her mouth shut when Toni insulted her at Thanksgiving. She kept it cute." But when she heard Toni told that reporter she was doing too much to keep up, that's when Tamar said she was done. Fans screamed, "Doing too much to keep up? Keeping up with how? Toni?" Suddenly, the jealousy narrative boomeranged, because now people were asking, was Toni jealous of Tamar, or was Toni threatened by Tamar being the younger, louder, more visible sister? Was Toni trying to undercut Tamar quietly behind the scenes while pretending to be the elegant big sister in public? Then came the next leak, an audio file that nearly broke the internet. It was allegedly recorded during a Braxton Family Values production meeting years ago. You can hear Toni saying, "I don't want Tamar standing next to me on stage during the finale. She's too distracting." It pulls focus. A producer replies, "We thought it was a sister moment." Toni snaps back, "Not when she's dressed like that." The internet erupted. People dragged Toni for being controlling, insecure, petty, and fake. Tamar's fans called it proof of jealousy. Toni's fans claimed the clip was edited. The divide widened to the point where even celebrity bloggers refused to pick sides. And then, just when people thought the leaks were chaotic enough, a new layer of scandal surfaced, one involving multiple sisters. A Braxton insider posted anonymously, "Toni and Tamar have been competing since childhood. Tracy knew, Tawanda knew, Trina knew, Evelyn definitely knew." Fans rewatched old episodes. They noticed subtle eye rolls, tense smiles, awkward silences, moments producers edited around but couldn't fully hide. But the real shocker came from someone who claimed to be part of Toni's medical team, a source who risked everything to make this statement. Toni wasn't mad Tamar mentioned surgeries. She was mad Tamar knew about the ones Toni HID from the family. This source alleged that Toni had 2 procedures the family never knew about, both done during the height of her financial issues, secretly, quietly, with no one present but a manager who later left the team. And this is where the story turned sinister, because the source added, Tamar only found out because Toni accidentally forwarded a post-op message to the wrong group chat. The internet collectively screamed, "Imagine Toni, the perfectionist, the image queen, the controlled one, accidentally exposing her own secret to the most chaotic sister." But the insider said something even more shocking. Toni begged Tamar not to tell the others. And Tamar kept that promise for years, until Toni allegedly threw her under the bus behind closed doors. Suddenly, Tamar's explosion didn't look messy, it looked justified, but the bombshells weren't done. A new leak surfaced from someone who claimed to overhear a tense phone call between Toni and Evelyn Braxton. According to this source, Evelyn told Toni, "You made your bed. You pushed her. Now she's pushing back." Fans lost their minds. Their mother knew? Their mother sided with Tamar? Their mother told Toni she caused this? What did Toni really say? How deep did this sister rivalry go? Then came the most explosive leak yet. A private message from a former record label exec who worked with both sisters back in the day. They wrote, "Toni always felt overshadowed when Tamar got attention. Tamar always felt dismissed when Toni got attention. They both envied each other, but only Tamar ever admitted it." Fans replayed that line so many times it became a meme. But what made everything spiral even further was the next reveal. The Surgeries were not the real secret. A burner account posted, "Tamar exposed the Surgeries," but the Surgeries were the cover-up. The real secret Toni hid, the one Tamar hinted she'd reveal next, has nothing to do with her body. Fans demanded answers. Blogs begged for clues. Detectives on TikTok began building timelines, theories, connections. But the burner account posted one final message before disappearing. If Toni denies the Surgeries, Tamar will drop the real secret. And that secret will break the entire Braxton family forever. Silence fell across the internet because whatever Tamar is holding, whatever Toni is hiding, it's not cosmetic, it's not petty, it's not jealousy, it's something deeper, darker, and far more explosive than anything Tamar has already revealed. And the world knows Toni Braxton will have to respond. And when she does, Tamar is ready, receipts loaded, screenshots saved, voice notes archived, dates organized, folders labeled. And the moment Toni says a single word Tamar doesn't like, the real secret drops. And that's when the Braxton family war goes nuclear. The internet was already trembling under the weight of Tamar's accusations when the next wave of rumors hit. Rumors darker, sharper, and far more dangerous than anything fans had been prepared for. For hours, people had been arguing about surgeries, jealousy, childhood rivalry, and secret shade. But slowly, almost too quietly at first, another narrative began rising from the ashes of the chaos. And it sounded nothing like gossip. It sounded like the truth behind the truth. The secret behind the secret. The thing Tamar had been holding back. Because insiders began whispering one terrifying line. The Surgeries weren't the secret. They were the alibi. That phrase ricocheted across social media like a bullet. People froze mid-comment. Bloggers deleted half-finished posts. Podcasters choked on their opinions. Because if Tamar was hinting that Toni had a real secret hiding behind those cosmetic procedures, that meant Tamar wasn't lashing out. She was strategically peeling back layers. And the fact that Tamar hadn't revealed the real secret yet meant it was so explosive that she needed Toni to deny something first, before she detonated the atomic bomb. And then, like clockwork, a new leak arrived. A former Braxton Family Values sound engineer dropped a message saying, "There were conversations we were told not to film, conversations between Toni and producers, conversations about something she didn't want on camera, something she begged them to delete." Fans immediately assumed it had to do with Toni's health, her lupus battle, but the sound engineer clarified with a chilling line. It had nothing to do with her illness. It had to do with her image. That word, image, sent everyone spiraling again because Toni Braxton's entire career was built on image. The elegance, the perfection, the poise, the mystery. Toni wasn't just a singer. She was an aesthetic, a brand, a blueprint. And if Tamar's secret had the power to destroy that image, then it had to be something so damaging, so contradictory to her persona, that Toni would do anything to bury it. Another insider emerged, this time a backup singer from one of Toni's early T0 mid-career tours. They wrote, "People think Toni was always graceful. Back then, she was terrified of being exposed. Terrified. Tamar covered so many of her slip-ups. Slip-ups? Exposed how? Was it about her personal life, her finances, her health, her relationships?" Then the backup singer added, "Tamar knows something from those years. Something nobody else in the family knows. Something Toni never wanted anyone to repeat. Now fans were practically foaming at the mouth. What could Tamar know from Toni's early career that would matter now? What could Tamar possibly reveal that Toni would apparently risk the entire family falling apart over? That question got even darker when a longtime family friend leaked a message saying, "Toni's biggest fear has always been people thinking she wasn't perfect. She's always hidden the parts of her life that made her look human." The timeline exploded with theories: secret relationships, secret breakups, a secret baby, a surgery gone wrong, a scandal from the record label days, money she hid from the family, a betrayal of another sister, an affair, a health scare, a contract she lied about. The options were endless and terrifying. Then came the leak that shattered every remaining boundary. A former WeTV executive anonymously posted, "There was one storyline the network wasn't allowed to touch. It involved Toni. Every time a producer brought it up, Toni threatened to quit. Tamar begged them not to force it because she knew it would destroy Toni's brand and the family." Fans screamed. This wasn't a rumor. This wasn't petty jealousy. This wasn't shade. This was something Toni fought WeTV to keep hidden, and Tamar protected her for years until something snapped. Another insider dropped a voice memo, muffled, whispered, clearly recorded in secret, of Tamar speaking to someone after her live stream. Tamar says, "She thinks I won't say it. She thinks I'm still scared of her image. Baby, that image don't pay my bills. If she want to play dirty, I'll play dirtier." The person Tamar was talking to whispered, "You gonna tell them the real thing?" Tamar responded, "Only if she lies again. One lie, just one, and I'm telling everything." That was the moment the internet realized this wasn't a fight. This was blackmail, wrapped in sibling trauma. Tamar is holding a secret so destructive that even she knows releasing it would tear down decades of Toni's reputation, erase her grace-filled brand, rewrite her legacy, and likely change the public's entire perception of the Braxtons. But what is the secret? Then a cousin, yes, the same cousin who keeps leaking everything, dropped yet another message. The secret isn't about surgeries, it's about what she did before the surgeries. Fans lost their minds. Earlier than the surgeries, earlier than Tamar's glow-up, earlier than Toni's solo success. Then the cousin added a second message. It's what she did to Tamar. The internet collectively stopped breathing. To Tamar, this wasn't about body image, this wasn't about jealousy, this wasn't about rivalry, this was personal, this was betrayal. This was something Toni did directly to Tamar. A betrayal so deep that Tamar has been carrying the weight for decades. Suddenly, all the puzzle pieces snapped into place. Why Tamar reacted so calmly, why she held back partial receipts, not full ones, why she emphasized jealousy, why she said she'd kept Toni's secrets for years, why Toni supposedly crossed a line in December, why their relationship always had an undercurrent of tension no producer could edit out. Then a new burner account appeared, likely someone close to the situation. Y'all keep guessing surgeries. Y'all keep guessing plastic work. No, that ain't it. Then a second message. Toni did something to Tamar that changed Tamar's entire life. Fans were screaming in the comments. What could Toni have done? What could she have said? What could she have sabotaged? What could she have stolen? What could she have exposed? What could she have blocked? Finally, the burner dropped one more message before disappearing. If Toni denies anything, Tamar said, Tamar will reveal the truth. And that truth, Toni spent years trying to hide it, because it proves she didn't just get surgeries out of jealousy. She ruined Tamar's biggest opportunity out of jealousy, too. The internet froze. Tamar isn't threatening to expose a body secret. She's threatening to expose a career sabotage, a betrayal. A moment in history where Toni Braxton allegedly destroyed Tamar's biggest chance out of fear Tamar would outshine her. And as of right now, Toni Braxton has said nothing. But the moment she does, Tamar is ready to destroy her entire legacy, and the world is waiting for Toni to make the first move. so Tamar can end the war with the truth. If you're still here right now, then you already know this isn't just a family feud. This isn't petty sister drama. This isn't shade or gossip or a slip-up caught on camera. What we just unpacked is a full-blown Braxton civil war, powered by secrets, lies, betrayal, jealousy, sabotage, and receipts Tamar has been sitting on for years. And if you think she went too far, trust me, she hasn't even started, because everything Tamar exposed so far, that was the warm-up, the appetizer, the teaser trailer. The real secret, the one Toni has spent years covering, shaping, spinning, and burying, hasn't dropped yet. And when it does, it won't just shake Toni's image. It will shake the entire Braxton legacy to its foundation. You do not want to miss what comes next, because the next chapter of this drama isn't going to come in whispers. It's going to come in bombs. Voice notes, screenshots, deleted emails, old contracts. Conversations producers weren't allowed to air. Stuff Toni never thought would surface. Stuff Tamar promised she would release the moment Toni denies even one detail. So, if you want to be there when the truth finally hits the internet, if you want the unfiltered tea, the exclusive leaks, the inside stories, you need to hit like right now so the algorithm keeps feeding you updates. Drop a comment to push this story into every timeline they can't suppress, and subscribe immediately, because once this war explodes, you're going to want front row access to every twist, scandal, and revelation. Stay locked in. The real Braxton bombshell is still loading.